And we are back. And if you're joining us right now, we're just getting our second conversation started. And we are talking all about the Rotary Club's virtual district conference. And we have two representatives from the Rotary 4-250, which comprises of Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, to talk all about this conference. So joining us this morning, we have Dr. Marcelo Coy, who is a past district governor of the Rotary 4250, as well as Orlando Burns, who is the current district governor. So good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Right. And thanks for joining us and sharing a bit about this year's district conference. So Orlando, perhaps you can get us started by telling us all about the Rotary organization for some of our viewers and what this what the upcoming conference is going to entail.
Good morning. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having us. Rotary is a service organization made up of volunteers. We are a worldwide organization, and we are community-based. In Belize, we have 10 clubs, one in every major town. And in the district, which is made up of 3 countries, as you mentioned, we have 74 clubs. So we are working as district, and we are having a convention, which is yearly. And this year we do it in Belize because the governor is from Belize, and we rotate. And we were going to have it physically in San Pedro. We were looking forward for a very big convention. We had all the logistics worked out. People were excited to come to Belize. We were expecting at least 600 people, but the pandemic changed everything. And I think everything's going to be changed permanently from now on. So we get used to doing things differently. So we're doing it the first time virtually.
Yeah.
And we are excited.
Now tell us the significance of this particular gathering when you come together for a conference. Dr. Coy?
Oh, sure. Sorry.
Yeah.
I give preference to the governor. As governor is in the archives. Well, it's a yearly meeting that we have, and I think I would put there are 4 main reasons. One is networking.
Yeah.
We get together and we share experiences. As you know, Rotary has a foundation called Rotary Foundation, where a club is able to apply for grants.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Belize gets about $500,000, I would say $1 million Belize dollars every year through these grants. So by the fellowship, by the networking that we do, we exchange ideas of how to best write grants, write projects, and then send them to the Rotary Foundation for funding. So that's one of the reasons. 2 is fellowship. We have the good friends within these 3 countries. District 4250 is Belize, Guatemala, and Honduras, no? And that's particularly good, that goodwill and that exists, for example, between Belize and Guatemala, particularly as it relates to the border dispute that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Another aspect is economic. I would think the country who hosts the conference brings a lot of tourists. And, so, for example, this year it would have been San Pedro.
Yeah.
It means we would have had at least 350 rooms booked in San Pedro, plus whatever they spend, And so there is an economic aspect to it. And I think the other one is motivational. It's a time when we invite good guest speakers to speak to us, and they recharge a battery in a way, so that then we return to our respective countries and towns motivated to do even greater work for the community in which we live.
Yeah. Now, what's on the agenda for this conference? How are you going to shake things up?
Well, first of all, we have a past Rotarian from our club. We're very proud. He's going to give us the welcome speech, and he's no other than our Prime Minister. he has graciously accepted to do the welcome speech. So we have him, and we have the Minister of Tourism giving us the thank you speech. So apart from them, we have speakers from Argentina, a lady by the name of Celia Jai. She and her husband just passed away, but he was the past president, the worldwide president, and she was a vice president. So they have been involved all their lives in Rotary. She has a knowledge of Rotary, and she's very motivational speaker, and she will be our president's representative. Our president right now worldwide is a German by the name of Holger Nack, and his year comes to an end at June. With all of us, it's for 1 year or term, right? But we have him sending his representative in Celia, and in Rotary, we all know about Celia because she's been involved for so long. And we have our past president, one of the few that ever visited Belize, Barry Rassen. He was here a few years ago and visited Belize. He is going to speak to us. We have a lady by Dr. Longsworth. We have a lady from Chile. So I can't remember the other one right now, Doc.
John Hugo.
John Hugo. He is the actual present secretary to the president right now, the worldwide president. So he will give us the latest on what's happening in Rotary, because our organization is very dynamic. Things are changing how we do things. You know, that's why we exist for over 100 years, because we change, you know. I can tell you like one change that we did, which is significant. Rotaractors used to be a program. Now they are elevated to, their clubs are elevated to be Rotarians. They can access the foundation just like any other club. And the Rotaractors, we're looking at them as adults, as equals to the Rotarians. So that's a big change.
And that's a critical point. In being able to be sustainable, you have to constantly be recruiting new members, and especially tapping into the younger generation that's coming up. Tell us about the growth of the organization. Is it still growing?
Unfortunately, no. I think we have remained stagnant at about 1.2 million members of the Rotary Club. We have always brought in new members, but every year the number of members that join equals the number of members that leave. So we have been stagnant at about 1.2 million. However, that's worldwide, global. In our district, which Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, we have been growing every year. And Belize particularly also has been growing every year. Another feature that's been happening is the number of women in Rotary has increased fantastically. And actually in the next 2 years, the president of Rotary International will be a lady. And in our district, you know, for the next, not this year, but for next following 2 years, we have 2 female governors. One will be from Guatemala, Carolina Corso, and she will be presented at this meeting. And following that, we're going to have Maria Price, who is going to be from Belize. So that's another change that we are seeing in our district.
Happy to hear that. Now, why do you think the numbers are growing in Belize while worldwide it's kind of stagnating?
We don't know. I haven't really, looked into it. We find that certain countries are stagnant, like the United States, and there are certain countries in Asia, Japan, Taiwan, India. It's growing, and so it seems that the more developing countries are growing, but the well-developed countries really are stagnant and are decreasing. I don't know why.
Okay. Now, looking forward, I think, the organization is well known for several of its programs, Gift of Life, for example, which we recently talked about, which offers life-saving treatment and surgeries to children with cardiac problems. And you've helped out in several different initiatives, or you have your own flagship initiatives throughout the country. Moving forward, as the world and even the country changes, What are some of the emerging priorities for the group?
Well, actually, each club has a flagship project. For example, for Gift of Life is the Rotary Club of Belize, and the Orange Walk has something called LEAP, where they do surgery for children with cleft lip and cleft palate. The Belmopan Group Club has an orthopedic project for children with abnormalities, bone abnormalities, and every club has. What Rotary has done, it has said, is going to focus in 6 areas. And the 6 areas are basic education and literacy, water and sanitation, maternal and child health, disease prevention and treatment, peace and conflict resolution, and community economic development. So that is what is emerging because these are where globally they're telling our clubs, you must focus on these 6 areas. And that is what we are doing. And within our district, the most common projects that Rotarians do is in the area of water and sanitation, particularly so in Honduras and Guatemala.
Okay.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
Marlene?
Jump in.
I'd like to say that I'm very pleased that in Belize we are growing because we have more committed Rotarians, and we're going out there and visiting. And we just got a charter for a new Rotary Club in Belize. This happened a few days ago.
Oh.
And it's going to be unique because they'll be able to meet by internet. They don't have to physically meet. It's like an e-club. And that's the thing with Rotary. We are going to start growing because Rotary has new models of clubs that can come on stream. I'd like to explain a little bit about that. But we're excited about this Rotary Club. It's been for years. We had people working behind to get the alumni from Galen involved. So now we have the Rotary Club based from the alumni from Galen. And I want to congratulate Dr. Aird, who was key behind this for years. She's been working on it, and it's going to be announced at the conference. We just got the charter, so this is exciting news.
Oh, nice.
So you could live in PG and Corozal and still belong to that club.
Yeah.
And that's how we're working now. And I'd just like to add to what Doc said about the areas of focus. We have a new area, which is called we're going to focus on the environment. So that means that if your club wants to do something for the environment, the foundation will fund it once the grant is properly written. So that's
Okay. Now, for people who
a
are
lot of young people that want to work on the environment. As a matter of fact,
yeah, and now
go ahead.
For people who are watching, how do they know if if the Rotary is the right fit for them? What are some of the motivators that you two, for example, have and that you've benefited from in being a part of the organization?
Well, I've been in my club for, I've forgotten, about over 30 years. I think I wanted to do something for my community, and I stayed because of the friendship. And those are the 2 main things that you get from Rotary, right? You get to do good things for your community with your friends, and that's very important. And that's the only thing that Rotarians have to invite you to join, right? But you can approach them. You have clubs in find out what they're doing, and then you go to their meetings like a friend. You're invited as a friend, and then you see if you like what you hear, what you see, and then you ask to join. And then I'm sure you are serious about service, you will be accepted. So you get involved. You don't have to be a Rotarian to get involved.
That's right.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing all that you did about the Rotary as well as the upcoming conference. But we are just about out of time for this segment, so we wish you the best of luck with the conference, and thank you once again for coming in.
Thank
you so much.
All right, stay safe. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we have a financial advisor who's going to talk to us about how to meet your expenses with a reduced salary. So please stay tuned.